Good afternoon, everyone. Please have a seat. Mr. President, 6 decades ago, when Kenya declared its independence, President Lyndon Baines Johnson wrote a letter from our nation to yours, and he said, "May the responsibilities of freedom wake the best that is in you." Today, we mark 60 years of partnership between our democracies, and we're fulfilling that wish together, and we're continuing. I truly believe it has brought out the best in both of us, not only in Kenya and America, but around the world. It's had a positive impact. But through our partnership, we're continuing to meet our responsibilities in 4 key areas. First, I'm proud to announce we're working with Congress to designate Kenya a major non-NATO ally. That's a fulfillment of years of collaboration. Our joint counterterrorism operations have degraded ISIS and al-Shabaab across East Africa. Our mutual support for Ukraine has rallied the world to stand behind the UN Charter. And our work together on Haiti is helping pave the way to reduce instability and insecurity. And I want to thank you, Mr. President, and Kenya's leadership for multinational security support mission in Haiti. Our new global partnership is going to build on all this progress. We're going to meet new challenges with more resources. And it's going to strengthen the security of our countries and our countries around the world. Second, we're deepening our economic cooperation. Both President Ruto and I have focused on growing economies, and growing them from the bottom up, the middle out, the bottom up, and when that happens, everybody does well, not the top down. Because when the middle class does well, the poor have a ladder up, and the wealthy still do very well. That's true in Kenya, that's true in America, and that's true around the world. Right now, many countries, debt stands in the way of growth. Too many nations are forced to make a choice between development and debt, between investing in their people and paying back their creditors. So today we're launching what we're calling the Nairobi, Washington Vision. This initiative is going to bring together international financial institutions and nations from all around the world to mobilize more resources for countries saddled with debt, to open more opportunities to the private sector financing, and to promote transparent, sustainable, and affordable lending practices. These are big goals. It's going to take time to see lasting progress, but we're providing $250 million, the United States is, to the World Bank in a crisis response window. In the coming weeks, the United States is going to make an additional $21 billion available to the International Monetary Fund. And today, I'm proud to announce there will be $250 billion in new lending capacity for multilateral development banks like the World Bank to help low-income nations invest in their development and tackle growing challenges. This is supported by the United States and many other countries as well. Next, we're launching a new era of technological cooperation between the United States and Kenya. That means new partnerships with industry, artificial intelligence, semiconductors, and cybersecurity companies. New initiatives to expand affordable internet all across East Africa. New education programs are going to bring Kenyan students to the United States to study in the STEM fields. And I'm proud to announce that I'm working with Congress to make Kenya the first country in Africa to receive funding through the CHIPS and Science Act, which has served us well. This funding will link their supply chains to the United States and to our partners, and spur innovation that extends from Silicon Valley in California to Silicon Savannah in Kenya, which, by the way, is already a $1 billion tech hub, already a $1 billion tech hub. Finally, we're ensuring democracy delivers for our people. That includes Kenya's diaspora community here in the United States. 2 years ago, our nation's first black vice president, President Kamala Harris, launched the nation's first Presidential Advisory Council on African Diaspora Engagement. Today, we're building on her work to strengthen long-standing bonds between our people. I also want to thank you, Mr. President, for taking action to implement the long-awaited Public Benefits Organization Act, which provides historic protections for civil society and NGOs all across Kenya. Like you, I believe the future is going to be won by countries that unleash the full potential of their populations, including civil society, women, and young people.
Can you explain why it is that you believe, on the one hand, that this mission is so critical, and on the other, why it is that you have categorically ruled out contributing U.S. forces to this effort. Is it your goal to beat back Haiti's gangs or to contain them? And on Israel, does the United States...
One question. I'll answer your question.
Okay.
The question with regard to Haiti is, we concluded that for the United States to deploy forces in the hemisphere just raises all kinds of questions that can be easily misrepresented about what we're trying to do and be able to be used by those who disagree with us and against the interest of Haiti and the United States. So we set out to find a partner or partners who would lead that effort that we would participate in, not with American forces, but with supplies and making sure they had what they needed. And so, I'm very grateful for President Ruto's leadership here, multinational effort, but Kenya's willingness to really lead this matters. You're not the only country, but you're leading this effort. And there's going to be U.S. forces, none on the ground, but we're going to supply logistics, intelligence, and equipment. Matter of fact, some equipment has already arrived. And Kenya is stepping up with police, and other countries plan to do as well. The United States is going to support the collective effort here. And of course, Kenya won't be going it alone. We're working with Congress to provide $300 million to MSS mission and an additional $60 million for equipment assistance. And we've received and are continuing to bring major contributions from other partners in as well. President Ruto and I agree that Haitian people deserve better. They deserve peace and security, and I thank him for taking on this responsibility, but we have his back and we're there all the way.
I do have a question for you, President Ruto, but before I do, I do very briefly have a question on whether the United States has any evidence at all that would substantiate the ICC prosecutors' specific allegations against Israeli leaders that they are using starvation as a tactic of war in Gaza, or exculpatory evidence for that matter, and if you would...
First-rate capability, and you keep your word. That's an important dynamic.
I agree with President Biden that Kenya's participation in Haiti is not so much about what happened in the past. It's about what we believe in, the peace and security of humanity. And we don't find that the U.S. is committing Kenya because the U.S. cannot commit Kenya. I am the president of Kenya. It's me to make that decision. And it's the people of Kenya to commit their own troops using their own structures. We've gone through the processes in Kenya. Parliament has approved. We have a clear mandate. We have a clear framework. And it is us, the people of Kenya, who made this decision in the interest of serving peace and stability as a responsible global citizen, and understanding that insecurity, instability anywhere is insecurity and instability everywhere.
And by the way, you asked
that have visited untold suffering in that country. On DRC, the AU, the East African community, and Kenya are seized with that matter. I've just told you that Kenya had 1,000 troops in Haiti. We now have another 800, not in Haiti, but in DRC. We now have another 800 troops from SADC. We are going to be having a meeting of the East African community. I did send my my foreign minister to Kinshasa. They had a conversation. And shortly, we will be looking at how to begin the dialogue process under the Nairobi process, because we believe there is no military solution to what is going on in DRC, but instead, dialogue should be able to give us the necessary momentum and outcomes that would settle the matters in Eastern DRC. So both the AU, the East African community, and Kenya as a country are seized of that matter. We know that the humanitarian crisis in Eastern DRC has displaced close to 7 million people. And I want to thank the United States of America for stepping in with humanitarian support for that region, because it is a collaboration of different countries in different ways to deal with that situation. The rest of us are committing troops. We are committing deploying our infrastructure to facilitate the resolution of the matters in DRC.
National development assistance to help developing countries access more financing, to alleviate debt distress, and to tackle climate change. What is your commitment on this? Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all your question.
Sorry, I'm saying Africa is asking America to lead the way and double its contribution to the World Bank's international development assistance to help developing countries to access financing to alleviate debt distress and to tackle climate change. What is your commitment on this?
We made a major commitment to this. Number one, as I said, the United States has long championed international financial institutions that provide low-cost concessional resources to the poorest developing countries, including from the IMF. To that end, my administration helped design and establish the IMF's new initiative that provides low-cost funding for countries that are taking steps to enhance their resilience. Important partners in Africa have the capital they ensure they have the capital they need to invest in their futures. We heard them and we stand with them. Now, that's why we've worked with Congress to enable the United States to make available in the coming weeks up to $21 billion in new lending resources to the IMF trust fund that provides concessional lending to the poorest countries. It's a little like, having to go when you're in debt, having to go and find someone to help you out. That's what this is about. We believe supporting friends and this partnership is we're happy to do our part. And look, we've also doubled our commitment to the IDA. And I'm proud the United States is the biggest donor to the IDA in this cycle. I'm proud to be working alongside with Kenya to support robust financing and policy packages that are going to help the most vulnerable countries address their investment needs. There's debt and there's growth. And you got to deal with the debt before you deal with the growth. And so we're trying to use international lending organizations to be able to provide that capability so people can grow. That's what it's about.
Will you allow Ukraine to strike aside?
Whoa!